One of the most challenging things for people to do is lose weight. And I was having a conversation with somebody the other day, and I just so happened to say, the person said, "Do you meal prep and do you cook?" And I said, "Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't." I said, "A lot of times I just eat a lot of fruit, and I'll eat before work, and then I'll eat again when I get home. Um, Although I typically do my best not to eat past 7 o'clock because I don't get off until 10. I do my best. If I do eat when I get home, I wait at least 2 hours before I go to sleep. But we're conditioned that we're supposed to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner and snacks in between. And we are taught to fill up this big old plate and eat everything on our plate. And that is one of the hardest mentalities to get away from. Um, I started, I became a vegetarian in 2001, and that was when that shift, that click happened for me. And I've lost and gained weight a lot over the years, because that was obviously 24 years ago. But again, that was one of the first things that kind of clicked. Like, I don't have to eat everything on my plate. When I get full, I can push back away from the table and stop eating and save some for later. And I can make healthier choices, right? Then, um, as I evolved more into my spirituality, I realized I don't have to eat at all, right? There, a lot of people refer to the Bible. There were a lot of people in the Bible who fasted 40 days and 40 nights, right? If they could do it during ancient times, why can't we do it now? We can. A lot of people feel like, oh, if I miss a meal, I'm going to die. I can assure you, you're not going to die. One of the best things you can do is intermittent fasting. I remember when I was, totally running my business, um, I would get up early between 3 and 6. Usually, if I woke up at 3, I called that meditation hour. So I would meditate, and then I would get up and I would start making products, you know, get them ready to be shipped out, take my pictures, advertise, um, and do the things that I needed to do, do my calculations, um, write out, how much, calculate down to the penny how much it cost me to make each product, and then how much the packaging was, how much the shipping was, all the things, so that I, would know how much of a profit I was making, how much I need to spend on buying more inventory. When you run a business, you have to do everything from start to finish. A lot of people think business owners are lazy, but you have to do way more work as an entrepreneur, especially if you're doing it by yourself. And so I would be so consumed with what I was doing. A lot of times I would realize it was 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the evening, and I hadn't eaten anything. So, and I didn't know anything about intermittent fasting at that time. This was probably 2015, 2016. I didn't know that there was a such thing as intermittent fasting. I just know that my skin started to get better, and the next thing I know, my clothes were loose, and I'm like, I lost weight. I was losing weight without even realizing it, because again, I was so busy focused on the business that I wouldn't eat until late in the evening. And then, as I was making products, I would put the products on my skin, and I realized like I had eczema on the back of my leg, and it was a really dark spot, looked like a big bruise, and that bruise went away. So, um, so I realized, that was a great way to lose weight. And then, like, after the fact, I was like, oh, they call that intermittent fasting. Again, had no idea what that was. Um, But even if you're someone who maybe has diabetes or high blood pressure or something, and the doctor told you that you have to eat, um, Eat an apple, right? I know you've heard the saying, an apple a day keeps the doctor away, right? Eat an apple and drink some water. Eat 2 apples, eat 3 apples if you need to. You'll eventually realize that you're shrinking your stomach and you can't even eat as much, which in turn, the cause will affect, excuse me, a cause and effect of that will be that you lose weight, right? If you feel like you just have to eat something, let it be a piece of fruit, some grapes, um, something really light, a salad, and not drench it with ranch dressing because you might as well eat a burger, right? Make a simple dressing, some red wine vinegar, olive oil, and some seasoning. That's one of the best, freshest tasting um, salad dressings you can ever make. So the guy, when I said what I said, like I normally eat before work, after work, and I eat a lot of fruit, he said, "Oh, that's the secret." And sometimes it doesn't dawn on me that people don't get it. They're still in that fill up your plate, eat the whole thing, because there's starving people out there and you have to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner and snacks in between. Because I've been so far removed from it for so many years, I sometimes forget that some people are still in that mindset. Especially, and this is not me trying to be funny or pick on anybody, so please don't take it that way. Especially people who come from other countries. I dated somebody who he was Americanized, but his relatives were not. And so since they were born in this other country, again, it was one of the what's considered a poor third world country, although the natural resources in that country are being exploited. So it's really not a poor country, but that's another topic. But like we went to a buffet and I just had a salad because that's all I wanted. And I get full really fast. Again, I've been on this journey since 2001. I get full fast. And she was like, "Oh no, you have to go get more food." Like she felt like it was wasting money if you don't eat at least like 3-4 plates of food at the buffet. But my stomach can't eat 3-4 plates of food. I that's one of the things that we do. Again, we were taught to finish everything on your plate. But instead of once we're full, eating until we're satisfied. You're supposed to eat to be satisfied, not eat to get full. A lot of people have that mindset that they have to have that full feeling, right? If you eat a salad and drink water, you're going to feel full. Even if 2 hours later you're hungry again, you will lose more weight eating a light salad, eating fruit, staying away from carbs as much as possible. Rice, pasta, potatoes, bread, right? And a lot of people feel like, "Oh no." I have another one of my friends who was not born in the United States. She was like, "Oh no, I have to eat rice." If you feel like you have to eat rice, don't eat as much rice. I ordered rice from a Chinese restaurant. The bowl was about that big and maybe that big around. That was how much rice was in the bowl. That I was able to eat off of it for like a week. That's a lot of, at least 3-4 days. That's a lot of rice. You don't have to eat that big of a portion of rice. Again, the goal is not to be full. The goal is to satisfy your hunger. Some people intermittently fast for 8 hours, 16 hours, 24 hours, 3 days, 10 days. I did it for over 70 days. I stopped counting after 60, but I know I went well beyond because I just stopped thinking about it. I probably made it to at least 78 days. The goal was to make it to 90 days, but I started having heart palpitations because my magnesium and potassium levels were low because I wasn't taking herbs. I was just doing basically like water and juice. And I wasn't doing the right combination of those things. I should have been adding more coconut water because coconut water has electrolytes in it. And that would have helped with those heart palpitations. But to get fresh coconut water is not easy in the United States, especially depending on where you live. And if it is easy to get, it's going to be, a little bit more costly, or you're going to have to make more of an effort to go out and get it. And so, if you're working a job, you don't always have the time to just go and get the fresh food that you need. And again, you should be doing incorporating herbs and teas when you fast for long periods of time like that. And you should be monitored by a physician. So it's still possible to do. It's just that it has to be done in a certain way. And I wasn't doing it correctly. And then however long you fast, so if you fast for, say, 10 days, you have to spend at least 5 days weaning yourself back onto food. So you can't just immediately jump back in and eat food. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to gradually start with, like a broth. Maybe you have a broth 1 or 2 days, and then you gradually maybe add something to the broth, like, some vegetables, some mushrooms, or something like that. And maybe the next day you have a salad, right? Then maybe the following day you can incorporate a protein. And then on that 5th day, you can, eat more. But you're supposed to do it gradually and not just, again, jump back in, because that can make you sick too. But a lot of times, we just eat because the boss said it's time to eat. And we're not even hungry. So again, because we're told you have to eat breakfast, we eat this big old breakfast with scrambled eggs, bacon, toast, and potatoes, and all the things, right? Then when lunchtime comes, we eat again just because it's time to eat. We're still not hungry. We're still full from breakfast. Then we turn around and eat a big dinner, and your body can't process all that food. So it's still working on breakfast, and you've put lunch on top of it, dinner on top of it, and snacks on top of it. Then you eating all these sugary drinks, soda, and all this, and we putting all that stuff on top of it. And again, your body's still trying to digest breakfast. Your body's still trying to digest something you ate maybe even a week ago. Because if you're not using the bathroom after each meal, your body still has food that's trapped in your intestines that has not been processed and released out of your body. I remember a young lady who had weight loss surgery. And she spent her time out of work. She lost, like, say, 75 pounds. And she could have lost more. But she wasn't eating correctly. She was still eating greasy food. But what she would do is she would get the bacon, egg, and cheese and toast and all the things, and she would eat a little bit at a time. Because once you have those weight loss surgeries, your stomach shrinks down to the size of like an egg. So your stomach is about that big. So you can't eat that much. And so she would just eat that same meal, that same greasy, fatty meal over the course of the day. That's still not good. And a lot of times when people have that weight loss surgery, they should have counseling before they have the weight loss surgery. Some doctors do it and some doctors don't. And if they do it, they don't do it to such a degree that it actually shifts the mindset of the person. They do it just enough to satisfy the insurance company or whatever it is that they need to do. This is a mindset shift. Again, you don't have to eat big plates of food. Use a smaller plate. Use a bowl. Put a spoonful of rice. Not a big, it doesn't have to be a big serving spoon size. It could be a few tablespoons. Maybe 3-4 tablespoons. Add your protein. And the majority of what you eat should be vegetables on that plate. If you're wanting a dessert or something sweet, eat fruit. And again, stop eating when you're not hungry just because it's time to eat. Eat when you actually want to satisfy your hunger. But you will find that if you're drinking lemon water or even drinking apple cider vinegar water, you'll release, you'll clean out your intestines more, and you'll shrink your stomach, and you'll be full faster. So you won't even be able to eat as much. And then in turn, again, you'll lose weight. If you're going through menopause, for my ladies who are going through menopause, a lot of times we eat without realizing we're eating because our hormones are changing. And so the body is craving stuff and wanting stuff, and we give it to our body. But we have to take control of that. We have to practice self-control and, again, learn to push back from the table. Another thing that we should do, we should be taking supplements. And this video is not sponsored. One supplement that I take is this Minnow. It has a lot of good herbs in it. Let me see. I had to put my glasses on. But these things will help to regulate your hormones. It has ashwagandha, chasteberry, vitamin D3, black cohosh, and vitamin B6. So that's one. It's called Minnow. You can buy this from Target, CVS. I also have this formula that's made by one of the doctors that I go to. Has some very similar ingredients. Soy isoflavones, black cohosh root extract, dong quai root, licorice root, red clover, sage leaf, chasteberry, blessed thistle, red raspberry fruit powder, wild yam root, and resveratrol. Resveratrol, I think that's how you say it. But anyway, both of these products help to regulate your hormones so that your hormones are not going so crazy and out of whack that you just want to eat anything and you start to gain weight during that process, whether it be perimenopause or full-blown menopause or post-menopause. These herbs can help you. Another good thing is a good multivitamin. Take a good multivitamin every day. Because a lot of times we're not eating the right food, so we need some supplements. If you're eating the right food, you don't need supplements. But unfortunately, most of us don't. Get you a good turmeric supplement. That's going to help with inflammation. Again, it's going to help lose weight. Most of us have a lot of inflammation in our bodies. Get you a good laxative. This is the one that I recommend. When I used to get I still get colonic, but the first colonic practitioner I ever went to, she recommended this product. So after I had my colonic, to keep me flushed out, this is one of the things that I take, right? I normally take 5, but if you take 5, you need to be near a restroom within 12 hours of taking it. So if you're going, if you can take it at night, and you don't have to go to work till the next afternoon or evening, then you should be fine. Or if it's on your day off, and I know, because like I said, I normally take 5, and it's going to make it like a pile of elephant poop. That's how it was explained to me. Of course, you can take less. You can take 1 or 2, but if you really want to clean, you want to take, at least 5. Cortisol. This helps with belly fat because it's the stress levels. Like, it helps with stress. Most women gain weight in their belly because of stress, and it's the cortisol, right? So we need a good cortisol supplement. Lion's mane. This is going to help you with clarity and focus. This is going to help you stop forgetting things. Because unbeknownst to a lot of people, one of the things that women go through during menopause is being forgetful, right, and unfocused. So this is going to help you with that. Okay. Um, of course, men should be taking supplements as well, especially if you're over 40. Um, for women, you can take like one of the multivitamins for pregnant women or women over 50. You want that extra. Men, the same thing. You can take a multivitamin for men over 50. Um, and there are a lot of herbs and vitamins that are good for men as well. Um, I don't have that list with me right now because I wasn't prepared, and I do apologize. I'm pretty sure I've done a video explaining the things that are good for men to take. I just don't have that knowledge off the top of my head, and I don't have it in front of me. So again, I do apologize, but you know, um, there are supplements that are good for men to keep them, and I feel like one is right there at the tip of my brain, but I can't get it out of my mouth right now. But anyway, a good multivitamin, even if you're not over 50, but a good multivitamin for men over 50 is always good. And again, if you're wanting to lose weight, majority of your plate should be vegetables. You should have this much protein, the size of your fist, which is usually about 4 to 6 ounces. And then if you have to have a starch, just let it be like a spoonful of starch. But I recommend cut the starches out for at least 30 days. See what the results you get. If you're really feeling froggy, stretch it out to 90 days. Have salads. If you have to, have a big old salad bowl full of salad. If you feel like but I promise you, 9 times out of 10, you won't even be able to eat because fresh fruit and vegetables have so much fiber in them that 9 times out of 10, you won't be able to eat that whole bowl of salad. You'll be surprised how fast you get full when you're eating what you're supposed to eat. Again, have 4 to 6 ounces of protein and make the rest vegetables, whether it's a fresh salad or it's whatever vegetable you can stand. Because I know a lot of people say they don't like vegetables. I don't understand that at all. My question is always, because I know most people, they eat Thanksgiving, they eat Christmas. You don't even like collard greens? Like there's absolutely no vegetable in the world that you like? There has to be something. And if there is nothing, teach yourself how to like something. I know that when I was growing up, I thought there were certain vegetables that I didn't like, and then I realized I just didn't like the way that they were prepared. And once I started preparing them to my liking, then I started to like them. I'll give you an example. Some people put sugar on their squash. I don't want sugar on my squash. I don't want sweet squash. Squash is already naturally sweet enough. I want salt, pepper, and garlic on my squash. Same thing with like watermelon or cantaloupe. Some people put salt on it because they feel like it bumps up the sweetness. I don't want that on my fruit. I just want the fruit. So again, sometimes we think we don't like something, and it's not that we didn't like it. It was the way it was prepared, and if we prepared to ourselves, we'll like it better. Also, as we age, our taste buds change. So sometimes the things that we said we didn't like or we thought we didn't like, once our taste buds change as we grow older, we start to like them. So give certain things a try. Be open and willing to try something different. I know a lot of times people eat the same thing over and over and over again. And that's fine, but I challenge you to try something different. At least once a month, once a year. Try something different. Try something out of your comfort zone. Prepare it yourself or go to your favorite restaurant and have it and try it. Give it a chance. Stop being closed-minded to everything. So eat mainly fresh fruits and vegetables. Again, even if you have to eat past 7 o'clock, let it be some fruit. Something really light. Buy yourself a bag of apples. Apples is one of the best things you can eat. Peel the skin off, eat the apple, preferably organic. If you like watermelon, if you like cantaloupe, if you like grapes. I know some people who say they don't like fruit. Again, I think that's so weird. But are you even giving it a chance, I wonder? Or are you just saying I don't like it? And are you basing it off of what you didn't like when you were a kid? Again, your taste buds have changed several times since you were a child. Learn to push back from the table or make smaller portions. Put it on a saucer or in a bowl. And stop eating when you're full. Drink more water. Drink water before you eat. Drink water while you're eating to help push it down. And then drink water after you eat. Again, you'll find that you're full faster. You're not going to die if you skip a meal. You don't have to eat when you're not hungry just because it's time to eat. And even if you do have hunger pains, it's okay to push through them. Again, you're not going to die. It's mind over matter. If you're busy doing something else, a lot of times you won't realize that you haven't eaten. Unless you're just the type that just going to focus on that. If you're focused on that, it's going to grow. The more you focus on it, the more hungry you're going to be. Because you're so, so focused on, oh God, I didn't eat this snack, so I'm going to die. Please stop telling yourself that. It's not true. You're not going to die. But if you're wanting to lose weight, you will lose weight. You'll lose weight without buying all these weight loss products and all the different things. And also for women and for men too, because they make them for men too, it's good to wear a waist trainer. Old folks swore by sucking your stomach in, holding your stomach in. First of all, if you have something binding your stomach, you can't eat as much. Again, unless you push through it. You get full faster. And it's helping to tighten up those muscles and suck in the belly. That's how I've lost almost like 50 pounds since, I think, January. I don't even know. See, I don't keep track of it, really. I just say I'm eating healthy. I know I wanted to lose weight before my birthday. My birthday was in February. So I started taking the steps that I needed. And I lost maybe 10, 15 pounds before my birthday. But I just kept going because, again, I'm not focused on a diet. I'm not on a diet. I'm eating healthy. I'm taking my supplements. I'm drinking my water. I'm wearing my waist trainer. And I'm moving my body. I do 100 knee raises every day. And I walk a lot. And I do my best to wait at least 2 hours before going to bed after I've eaten something. It's not hard. You just have to do it and you have to stay consistent with it. And you will find that you will just naturally start to lose weight. Sweets, it's challenging to stay away from sweets. But again, I've started to eat more fruit. If somebody has a cupcake, I'll say, no, I don't want no cupcake. But then I don't deprive myself either. I don't make myself feel like I'm being deprived. That's what that's the mindset. Oh, if I don't eat this, I'm going to be deprived. And I can't take away the good things that I enjoy. If I want a candy bar, guess what? I eat a candy bar. It's mainly dark chocolate. But I have what I want. But then I stay disciplined and get back on track after that. I'm with my salads. I'm with my fruit. I'm drinking my water. I'm moving my body. I'm taking my supplements. I'm drinking my water. I'm pushing back from the table when I'm full and I'm saving some for later. I'm not filling up a whole big plate full of food. Sometimes I only eat a vegetable. I might, saute me down some collard greens, some kale, spinach, and just eat that. I'm not doing all the white foods, bread, pasta, rice, potatoes. I avoid them as much as possible. And again, the body naturally lose weight because it's hard for us to metabolize those. It's hard for the body to digest them and break them down, especially if we just keep eating more food and more food and more food on top of the food that has not been digested by our body. Anything that I say can be researched, so you don't have to believe me. You can research it. As always, I love y'all. I hope that this was helpful.